What's up, guys? I'm Benji,
And I'm Miles.
and you're tuned into The Proper Fit.
All right, guys. So, our topic for this episode is your 5 whys.
We're also going to be bringing you our tune of the time that we're bouncing along to in our sessions right now.
We've also got a Q&A section, which we've now titled Fitness Whispers.
Fitness Whispers. We're also going to bring you our Uncle Benj section, which is where you get to ask me absolutely anything. You can throw a scenario at me, and I'll do my best to try and answer it with some advice.
Yes, indeed. And to finish off, we have our PFT for this episode, our proper fit tip. I feel
Awesome.
like Fitness Whispers is gonna catch on. It sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds good, especially the way you just dropped it, like that. Fitness Whispers. I tell you what, you know what we could do? If you're listening to this podcast, you can do the jingle for us. So we want to hear your recording of Fitness Whispers.
That'd be wavy.
And then we'll put a collection of them together, right?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I'm cool with it. I'm down with that. Cool. So without further ado, let's get into the show. You're tuned into The Proper Fit. So guys, our topic for this episode is your 5 whys. So the 5 whys, essentially, it's a tool or a checklist to help you get from one place to another. So where you're at right now to where your goal or destination is. And it's essentially just a process to go through that helps you see along the way how you're getting on, give you an opportunity to review what you're doing, and maybe make some changes along the way to reach that destination.
Yeah, so I mean, 100% agree with you. I think it's a great way to just figure out your reason for exercise. Like we all need a reason why we're gonna go and do this, because end of the day, exercise doesn't always feel great, and in those moments you need to remember why you're actually doing this. So I could go into a really quick example. So you want to have a healthier lifestyle. The first thing you do is why. Why do you want to have why do you want to change your eating and exercise habits? And a typical answer could be because you want to lose weight. And then you ask yourself it, and then you ask the same thing again. Why do I want to lose weight? Because you want your clothes to fit better. And then you want to go even further than that, and you can think deeper about why you want these things. Because when you want your clothes to fit better, that can sound quite superficial. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, but there's probably a deeper reason why you want your clothes to fit better and why you want to look good. Definitely. So go and ask yourself it again. Like, why do you want your clothes to fit better? And then this is where it gets a little bit deeper, because then you can really think about it. And then an answer could be, I want to feel proud of who I am, or I want to feel comfortable in my own skin. When you ask yourself why again, why do I want to feel proud? Because the answer could be because being proud of who I am to me means living a long, healthy life, or you want to be comfortable in your skin for the whole of your life. And you can ask yourself one more time. So this is the 5th why. Why does it mean so much to you to live a long, healthy life? Or let me question myself as it is myself, and let me answer as it is myself. Why does it mean so much to me to live a long, healthy life? And the answer is because I want to accomplish more. I want to be around for as long as possible for my kids, for my grandkids, for my family, my friends. And you found a really, really, really strong reason why you're working out,
Yeah.
So it can get real deep, man. It can get really deep.
Look, that's deep, man.
Yeah,
that's
proper,
deep.
Proper.
You ain't got no kids on the way, have you, bro?
Oh, listen.
I was just deep.
This is a fitness podcast. This is not Dr. Phil. I am not. I don't have to talk if I choose not to. If I speak, I get in a lot of trouble.
It was deep, man. I was there with you. No, but that's like so succinct and like a perfect way to put it, I think.
Yeah.
And I believe that hopefully the people that are listening to this most of you, I imagine, have probably already heard of the 5 whys,
Mm-hmm.
but to hear it defined in the way that we look at it, and specifically relate it, purely to fitness, and goal setting ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really important tool. And I think the thing to remember is not to feel as though you have to get that right straight off. Your
Absolutely.
5 whys may change throughout your journey. So you might start with the reason why, the thing that first motivates you or, calls you to action. But actually, that why might change through the process. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, I guess, important not to feel afraid
Mm-hmm.
to allow yourself to change your mind, right? And I guess the further into your fitness journey as well, that happens quite regularly.
Yeah.
And if I think of, many of my clients, for example, as you progress in your fitness journey, actually what you end up doing is changing both your perspective and your reasons for doing things.
Sure.
So initially, most of my clients will come to me and say, I really want to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm at a stage with my clients that have trained with me for, maybe a year or just over, where the actual aim now is to gain weight, but in the form of lean muscle mass,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to putting fat back on.
Sure.
you know
Sure.
So yeah, that why can change all the time, and I think it's important to be flexible in your own mind with your approach.
Absolutely, man. You've got your 5 whys. You evaluated if it still matters. If it still matters to you, and then from there, you need to figure out what actually motivates you. So, if I just go to there's this cycle or this linear approach to motivation and actually cracking on with exercise. We're going to focus on exercise. This could be used for anything, but we're going to use it
Okay.
for exercise. So you have the according to this approach, inspiration is what starts off the whole thing. You get inspired by something. So if we're talking about exercise, maybe you're on social media, you're on Instagram, you see a really great post from a fitness influencer. You think it looks great, it's amazing, it's great, it's doing something for you, and from that you're inspired. You're like, wow, let me try and do something now, you know. And then from there, you then get motivated because you wanna do something about it. So then you start to put things in place to actually get started. So that's
Cool.
the so it's
Like get a gym membership or
right.
cool.
So it's inspiration and motivation, and then it's action. You're actually cracking on and doing something to make a change. So the linear approach is valid. It happens. That's definitely how it happens for a lot of people. But
Yeah.
I think what it fails to kind of what it fails to shed light on is the fact that you don't start at inspiration every single time. Like,
Nah.
you may be motivated to do something at
But
the
not
start.
inspired.
Yeah, you're motivated to do something, and then you become inspired.
Yeah.
The mere fact of you actually doing something makes you gets you inspired,
Yeah.
and you then go and do your action, or your action is already happening whilst you're motivated, whilst you're inspired. So it's rather less than a linear approach. It's not really that. It's a box of experiences.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, you kind of it may all happen at once. One may happen first, and then you go and do the other two, or two may happen at the same time, and then you go and do the other one.
Yeah.
But all three matter. It's
Yeah.
inspiration, motivation, and action. Once you have those three, then you can go and then you go and crack on with the exercise.
Yeah, and I think what is important to note is that because you have this collection, or this box of experiences, as we call it,
Yeah.
you you have that. So if you imagine or sort of visualize someone coming to you and giving you a hamper, for
Mm-hmm.
example,
Mm-hmm.
more often than not, when you get a hamper, you don't actually want everything that comes in it. Sometimes, like, you pick through it, almost like I go, yeah, I want that. Nah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that. I don't
Yeah.
want that. And I guess, like, if you imagine this 5 why scenario, and having those 3 elements inside of a hamper, there might be bits that are relevant to you and bits that aren't relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bits that you're going to chuck straight in the bin, and other bits that you might use. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think it depends on the person you are as to what bits from that hamper you're going to need to utilize or want to utilize at any given time.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're the sort of person, like it takes, me personally, it takes quite a lot to inspire me, but I'm motivated.
Okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily take the inspiration bit out of the box because I don't require that to be motivated to do something.
Sure.
I have that motivation. It comes from other areas of my life, you know.
Intrinsically motivated.
And one of the things I hear from people quite a lot is, I'm lacking motivation. Like I just need something to get motivated. But actually, maybe if you're not someone that's naturally motivated, maybe then what you need to be doing is searching for inspiration.
Okay.
You know, maybe that's the thing that you need to do. So instead of looking at gyms or trying to drag yourself to a workout, for example, maybe you need to spend some time in your home using the internet as a resource, using social media maybe, and looking for things that inspire you and engage you. And then maybe that is the thing that sparks the other three things that you need to kick into action. If you're not easily inspired, then find a way that you can be almost forced, even maybe, you know, psychologically blackmailing yourself into doing something, you know, which is where people would say that as a negative thing. But actually, I guarantee you, most of us who are listening to this have actually done it in some way. And what you've done is you've gone, right, I've got a Christmas party coming up, or I've got a holiday coming up. And so I want to look good in my bikini or my shorts on the beach. So I've got to work out, you know? But you can turn that into a positive, and then that becomes your motivation.
I felt like I sounded like a fan earlier on. Like I was just so with it. Like I think you said, you said something about like, what was it? Finding, you know, taking some time to just find out what inspires you. And I was just like, oh, that's such a great point, man. Like I totally agree. Honest to God, I completely agree. Like if you really take the time to, you know, just take a step back, literally look inside yourself. I'm not trying to sound too life coachy, but if you really look inside yourself, preach. But if you really look inside yourself, like you will find what you're looking for. You know, just get a little bit more inspired from things around you. Look for it.
I love the way you put that, bro.
Hey now. Hey. Now keep that running, yeah. Lord, I told you once.
I feel like we. I feel like just as you were speaking, we just needed something inside so strong, just like played in the background, just subtly, just like it was when you said, "I don't want to get too life coachy."
Yeah,
like, no, that leads us on to our tune of the time that both of us are enjoying right now, using in our sessions online. So this tune is by Disclosure. But here's the tune. It's called Energy.
You should feel invincible, powerful, strong. Look, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Are you hearing me?
Woo, jeez.
I'm bopping.
Are you hearing me?
When your energy goes, you flow. I think about that wrong. Hold on. Where your energy goes, you flow. Is it when your energy?
Nah, focus. Where your focus goes.
Oh, mad focus.
Yeah. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Are you hearing me? On a bit of a tangent, but yeah, basically that's a tune that we like right now. That's a tune at a time. It's Energy by Disclosure, so go check that out. Which leads us into our question and answer section. This section is called Fitness Whispers. And for those of you, just like that, for those of you that haven't kind of worked out the concept yet, it's basically a play on words. So you've got Chinese whispers, right? Everybody knows how Chinese whispers works. You start with something and then it ends as something completely different by the time it's passed through ears and mouths. All right. And that happens quite a lot in fitness. So we're kind of here to highlight that, and then try as best as possible to answer the queries that come through and dispel any myths. What's our fitness whisper? I feel like we're going to have to always go fitness whispers. So what's our fitness whisper? What's our fitness whispers for this week? And who's it from, Miles?
All right, here we go. So here is the fitness whispers. There's a certain product that we're not going to say because
Okay.
we run through. That's the most important part. Yeah, we don't want to get sued. So
replace it. What's the product? What does it rhyme with?
I think you'll get it.
Okay.
So here we go. Right. My partner bought me a nitwit for Christmas.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna leave it like that. My partner bought me a nitwit for Christmas. Since then, I've been doing what it's told me to do: 10,000 steps a day. But I haven't lost any weight. Is 10,000 steps the right amount, or should I be doing more or less? I'm a bit lost.
Awesome question. And who's that from?
It's from Charlotte from West Brom.
Awesome question. You know what? Like, I'm going to try and be as straight and as honest as possible without being too direct and negative. The 10,000 steps thing, for me personally, isn't the one single thing you should be focusing on to reach your goal of weight loss. Okay. And I think I want to really drill this home for people, that having one single thing which you focus on as being the thing that's going to help you lose weight or achieve your goal, I think is always bad and counterproductive.
Sure.
So from that perspective, not saying you want to throw your nitwit in the bin, but you want to see the bigger picture. You want to step back and maybe use that device as part of a number of things that you're doing to try and lose weight.
Sure.
Right from the top, that you need to be eating less and moving more. That's if we make it real simplistic, right? And that's where you need to be right now if your aim is to lose weight.
Yeah.
Once you get that right, then we move into, okay, well, let's look at what we're doing with regards to activity. Let's look at calories. So for you to lose weight, Miles, and for me to lose weight, is two completely different things.
Sure.
Right? It's relative to an individual. So for everybody to be prescribed 10,000 steps a day to lose weight, frankly, I'm not going to swear on this podcast, but it's BS. That's not individualized. That's not specific to you as an individual.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I personally don't think it's the sole thing that you should be focusing on at all. Sure. Because who's to say that you shouldn't be doing 9,500 steps?
Yeah.
Or 1,050 steps.
You can never know.
I think what's important to touch on, actually, there's no scientific research to support the fact that doing 10,000 steps a day is what you need to do to lose weight.
Sure.
We don't have the time in this episode to dive right into all the very specifics of it. What I can say is that in terms of burning fat and actual weight loss, you need to be referring to some of the things in episode 1, which is looking at that difference between moderate and vigorous activity. And you'll find that there's a common thread between people who lose significant amounts of weight healthily and sustain it, and people that move vigorously. So then being solely focused on just doing 10,000 steps, well, 10,000 steps running and 10,000 steps walking are two completely different things and will engineer two totally different results for you. I think the final thing I'll say is that the accuracy of the device as well will vary depending on device, potentially how much you've paid for it, but most importantly, how much research and technology is in. I know that some of the heart rate monitors that we use for our sessions are one of the most accurate heart rate monitors in the world, something like 94% accuracy. So anything that's a wearable sort of fitness device that doesn't go around the heart will always be just slightly less accurate. But nevertheless, any of those devices are great just to motivate you and remind you, okay, you should be moving.
Yeah.
And if that's the way you use it, in conjunction with some vigorous activity, some moderate activity, and a calorie deficit, you will lose weight.
Sure. All right.
Where are we at now?
We got Uncle Benj. I feel like we need like a soundbite for the future where it's just going to be like some old man just going, Uncle Benj. All right, cool. So Uncle Benj is the section where, you know, you can ask absolutely anything. It's different to the Fitness Whispers because this doesn't have to be fitness related. Okay, cool. So this one, it's a little bit cheeky.
Oh man, okay.
I'm not gonna laugh too hard because it's
okay.
real.
Okay. Serious face.
Yeah, serious face. Right. I work away a lot, but I'm now spending more time at home due to COVID. I'm normally really prepared with my meals and have my healthy places to go and eat, but since lockdown, I've not been doing well. I love my wife to bits, but she's taken this time as an opportunity to draw us closer together by cooking for me. Here's the kicker, but she's a terrible cook. That's mad. So how do I navigate this without upsetting her? What are you gonna do?
Okay, so I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at your situation. You know what it was? I'm going to blame Miles. It's the way he read it because he was already laughing before he got to the end of the like.
I'd like to put it.
I'm blaming you.
That it is Benji just is laughing on the episode. It's not me. I did nothing wrong.
Okay. I guess this is something that a lot of people do experience. So you're not in a anomalous circumstance here. Like I think a lot of people feel that with regards to food choices, and food choices are like one of the most personal things that like exist, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what two people like can be completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Generally, you want to try and find it out before you move in with someone that's going to cook for you. You're married to. But he works away a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I guess over time he's probably formed like some habits.
But how do you get? Do you know how do you get to that point? That's the thing. Like,
but
yeah, he works away a lot, but surely, you know, if he's married to her, then they must have spent some time together at one point.
No, maybe. I mean, if you put yourself in the shoes of like the wife,
yeah,
if her husband's not home a lot, then she's probably developed like skills that are relative to the situation that she's in. So if you have a big family, you get used to cooking real big meals, and you probably cook something that is a combination of what each individual likes. Okay. You know, probably come accustomed to maybe cooking for the kids. Okay. Which is maybe a separate, you know, set of dietary requirements.
Yeah.
And then she cooks for herself. So that's probably how they arrive there.
That's it. What does he do? What does he do?
I mean, I'm not telling you to lie, but here's what I would say. There's lying, and there's being creative about the truth. Okay, don't laugh, man. This is serious. This is serious stuff. So, like, you can. So for example, Miles, if you say to me,
"Hold on, wait, I need this. Hold on, I need a second."
You're writing this down, right?
Being creative with the do you know what? Let me take Uncle Benj. Let me just listen. Yeah, go ahead.
So
this is
so like if you came to me and you said like I use the scenario of the meal, for example. If you came to me and you said, do you like this food? I don't know, quiche, for example.
Right.
Do you like this food? It was quiche. I go straight like, no, like I don't like quiche at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my honest opinion.
Yeah.
If I came round to your house because you were cooking me dinner and you'd cooked me quiche and then you asked if I liked it, it would be impolite of me to say what my real truth is. Like, it'd be impolite, you know, of me to go, no, I don't like that. Yeah. Even though that's what I truly feel. So, the opposite of that would be lying, which isn't good. I'm not advocating lying, people. Please, like, do not say that Uncle Ben said in episode 2 that lying is okay. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
that's why I was like, let me just sit back.
You just I love the way this section, Miles just like reads out the question and then just sits back and lets me hang myself.
Just watch it over.
But yeah, like, you don't lie, you be creative around the truth. So here's what I'd say. Let's set the scene. You've cooked quiche. You spent like 2 hours. I don't know how long quiche takes to cook. I'm not interested. But you've spent like 2-3 hours cooking quiche. You've invited me around. You've set the table. I come round. I walk into the kitchen. What's for dinner, Miles?
Benji, I made some salt and pepper quiche with no seasoning. It's a little bit raw, but that's how I like it. Do you want some?
Fantastic. Like, how long did that take for you to make? Because I imagine there must have been loads of preparation that went into it. You know what? It's not, I wouldn't say, I mean, it's not my favorite thing to eat, but like, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
So like, can you see what I did there? Like, I've avoided the car crash. Like, I didn't quite like lie and say, I absolutely love quiche.
Yeah.
But I also didn't say, nah, like, I ain't having that.
I hear that. Do you know what I would do?
Do you know, it's being creative with the truth.
I hear that. I mean, I know this is Uncle Ben's section, but I feel like I got to say that piece. Like, you know.
Auntie Miles, based on that last voiceover.
Nephew Miles. I can have that.
Nephew Miles.
Now, me personally, they give me the quiche. Okay, first off, I can't eat quiche. I'm allergic to eggs, so you know that's my way of saying I can't eat it. But I would then go and say, you know, if they gave me like some nasty pasta that just didn't look nice, and I was like, okay, thanks, I'd eat it. I would eat it. Like, okay. I would not. I wouldn't even say nothing. I would eat the food, but then food, or maybe like the next day, or they're just planning to go and cook something else. I would then go and talk to my wife on a level, and be like, babe, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think, you know, what you're cooking right now is not something I... Don't laugh, man. I'm being serious. I'm putting myself in the conversation. Like, I'm sat down on the couch, I'm sat down, I'm looking at her eye to eye, because this is the love of my life, the woman that I married, damn it. Like, I'm looking at her, I'm like, babe, I'm not gonna lie to you, you know, I love you. I don't think I can eat the food that you're stop. I don't think I can eat the food that you're making at the moment. You need to understand, I've got like, I don't know. I know that I'm a little bit particular. Put it on you. Be like, I know that I'm a bit particular and I'm sorry for that. But I was just wondering if maybe we could go about it a different way. Boom. And then you're set. You're done. Finished. Yeah? Then she doesn't, or maybe she does, and I don't know.
I mean,
hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, Cousin Miles.
Yes, Uncle Benj.
There's a reason why this question's posed to Uncle Benj, right? And it's a lot to do with experience, right? So,
yes, you are a married man. Yes.
One of the reasons that I'm laughing as you're speaking is because that's exactly what I would have said is the way to tackle it before I was married. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening right now that can't identify with what Miles is saying right now,
Listen. Let me
Please,
just
bear in mind, Miles isn't married, ladies. So and bear in mind that was not Uncle Benji. That was. I'm just gonna do my best to distance myself from this
all the
because
disclaimers coming out.
and just distinguish the difference between cousin Miles and Uncle Benji.
Cool.
Just so you know that, ladies, I do not advocate what Miles said should be done, whereby a man should tell you that he doesn't like your food. Because in my experience,
If you don't know, you can't get better.
it's one of them where you just can't tell the truth, Miles.
Right, look, I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there. Yeah, look, that was my take. It's what I would go and do.
And the beauty of this recording is that when you're married, I'm gonna play this back to you and remind you of your philosophy
right
on
now.
on how to. I'm gonna remind you, like, this is time stamped, right? So, and if you're not doing this, I'm gonna really rip you about it. The answer is be creative around the truth. Make sure that, like, if you can still get out, bro, like, places are starting to open now. So if you can still get out, like, go and get the stuff that you do like. Get full, get full on that.
This is what the future.
And then like sit down and have that time together. But here's what you do: like, don't reference episode 2 of this podcast because she's gonna know. But you can say something like, "Listen, I've been doing like the Benji Live online workouts. I've been hitting like core conditioning with Miles. I've been listening to their podcast, and I'm starting to feel like I really want to transform my body, and I'm going to reduce the calories and what I'm eating. So I'm going to have some. I'm going to sit and eat with you. I'm just going to have a little less than I normally would because I'm working on my physique, which doesn't have to be a lie. You can be working on your physique, but that's what you're going to do.
I seriously, and then you could even say, you know, I've been following Benji and Miles doing their classes, and they recommend this meal plan. It's full of ingredients and recipes. It gives you a method to do it. Can we try this?
And then you say, you know what? It's my idea. So you know what? Tonight, I'm cooking.
Yeah.
There you go.
Uncle Benji, we did it. There
you go.
Fantastic.
We're at the part of the show that everybody's waiting for, the bit that requires a drum roll. So let's go. Drum roll, please. What is a proper fit tip for this episode?
Goal adjustment and goal setting.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Again, we're focusing on lockdown. You know, during this time, it's quite tough to see progress because the gyms aren't open. You have to do a lot of home workout stuff. You may not have equipment that you want or need. So it can get frustrating really, really quickly. So now you need to adjust what you're seeing as progress. It all still matters. You know, your end goal is still going to manifest. It just may take a little bit more time. So in the meantime, look at something else that's going really well.
Yeah, totally. I've got an explicit example of that. And essentially she'd got in touch. She already had a personal trainer who I hope's not listening to this because he knows that she's cheated on it. Okay. But she had a personal trainer and he was giving her some of the myths, maybe not the proper fit. And she engaged with me through the online workouts and went, right, I need to be training with you because the advice that I've got just doesn't seem to be right. It just doesn't sit well with me. And above all, I'm not seeing the progress over time that I expected to, or that he expects me to. Mm-hmm. I'm doing everything that he says. I'm having a really restrictive diet. I'm eating spinach for breakfast and a whole multitude of different things that she came forward with. Mm-hmm. So we looked at weight she was, and she told me at the time, she said, how come I've not lost any weight since Saturday? Mm-hmm. And this was like on Monday, to put it in perspective for you. Mm-hmm. So first of all, I said, don't be an idiot. Like, it's 2 days. You've done 2 classes. Like, come on. And secondly, I went back and reviewed what her start weight was when she began the workouts. Mm-hmm. And from the point that she began the workouts till where we were on that Monday, she'd actually lost almost a stone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's huge. Like, anybody out there that's listening that's lost a stone knows, like, wow, yeah,
Tough,
people
man.
would pay
Very, very
right
tough.
now
Yeah.
to lose a stone.
Of
You know,
course.
it's hard. It's hard. So that's a huge achievement, particularly for someone that didn't think that they were doing very well.
Yeah.
But I had to break that down for her and say, well, this is where the conversation started. Benji, how come I haven't lost any weight since Saturday? And the conversation actually ended with me almost giving her a golden star and a certificate to say, congratulations on losing a stone, actually. You know? And I think the important thing there was exactly what you've just said.
Mm-hmm.
It was changing the focus, have a perspective that demonstrates you are making progress.
That's it.
You are moving forward. Like, the goals can change. And it's a little bit like the things that you alluded to at the top of the show. It's ultimately, it's a box of things, and you take out of that box what's relevant at that time as a measure of your progress or where you're at,
Sure.
or how close you are to achieving your goal. Just one really relevant example that's cropped up that just supports exactly what you're saying.
Sure,
you know?
sure. No, absolutely, man. It even goes back to a really old saying. You know, a watch pot never boils. If you're just looking at one part of your journey all the time, what do you expect's going to happen? Like,
I love that.
Banging.
Some cousin Miles.
PT Miles knows what he's talking about. Cousin Miles doesn't know a damn thing about marriage.
PT Miles is experienced in fitness and all things in the exercise world. Cousin Miles knows nothing about marriage.
Knows nothing about that. It's all right.
Particularly from the perspective of a man. Like, you've got to understand, bro. Like, we're not in power here.
Let me say no comment. Yeah, look, disclaimer again.
That's the best thing to do in marriage. Actually, no comment, bro. I can assure you. You know what, guys? I think this episode we've probably already said too much. So all that remains to say is, please tune in to us. Get ready for the next episode. Make sure you're following us on Spotify if you love what you hear, or don't love what you hear but it's thought-provoking. Then share it with your friends, share it on your social media, or just let people know, hey, there's these two idiots and they sometimes make sense and sometimes give good advice. We'd love to hear from you also. So you can get at us at theproperfitpodcast at gmail.com, or
check out our Instagram at Core Attack.
Awesome. So all that remains to say is really hope you've enjoyed this episode and are looking forward to the next. I'm Benji.
And I'm Miles.
And you've been listening to The Proper Fit.